I hate how Photoshop is.
That's why I love Procreate. I haven't even touched Photoshop in like ever since I got my iPad.
Yeah.
I haven't fucking touched it. I'm waiting for Photoshop to try to sue the shit out of them. I'm sure they already have, like, to try to destroy Procreate. But like, I'm able to. I made my money back.
Yeah.
On the iPad.
Was
I made my money back for the iPad, for the Apple Pencil, and for the actual app's only like $10.
Yeah.
From it, because it was better. Yeah, I mean, there's shit I can't do, but
fuck it. Really. You really can do everything.
For the kind of artist I am, yeah, you can do anything that I need to do, but photo manipulation, I don't think you can really do on there, and stuff like that.
I hear that Clip Studio Paint is pretty good too for like web comics and stuff, and you can like lump sum pay. I think it's like $170, and they've got really, really, really good like brushes and, like I said, web comic setups and everything. So
what's it called?
Clip Studio Paint. I've been looking into it, but I'm in the same boat as you, where Procreate does everything I need to, and even before that, I was using a pirated version of Psy. So it's like, fuck Photoshop.
Yeah, fuck
Moral
Photoshop.
of the story, episode title, fuck Photoshop.
Fuck Photoshop, Jeff, write it down.
Talk about it, but
fuck Photoshop. That's what we're gonna have in here. All right, so you guys are okay with playing another short one?
Yeah.
Because I realized that there might be too much for just one session. I think I would have to like rush a whole bunch of it, but we'll see. We'll see how it flows naturally. If it's easy, quick and easy, because you guys always surprise me with shit, then we can go on. If you one hit the boss, then
yeah.
What am I gonna do? We can keep going. The what?
That really could happen.
Well, it has happened. Jeff sent one of my strongest champions straight to Draxia while he was alive. So there's not much I can really do sometimes.
Which one was that?
I was
what?
That one.
Which one was that?
It wasn't
the Avenger, the one with the wings. He fucking destroyed you guys the first time you fought him, and then the second time you fought him, you just were like, nope, and he just teleported him to hell, like just sent him away.
Not playing this today.
I think it's a charisma saving throw, and that was like he was terrible. Everybody hated him because he was like a spooky Batman. Batman would have very low charisma. Let's be honest.
Let's be honest here.
Yeah. Unless you're Catwoman, Batman's kind of just a grumpy asshole all the time. Catwoman's like the only person who likes him. But for her, then he has like 1,000 charisma, because that's like, I guess, what she's into. But all right, let's do this, shall we? Okay. So
we are back.
Do you just want to do it, Jeff?
No.
You just want to do it? Why don't you just do it? Do you just want to do it? Run the show. Run the game. Clap. Okay, so last time we played, you guys had begun Astrid's little personal mission. Astrid was sent to a bizarre plane, a strange place that she has seen glimpses of before. The ground isn't like dirt; it's like this kind of weird white stone, almost like marble. With these like golden metal sort of rims running through it. It's definitely not like a natural place, and if it is, it's incredibly alien. But there was a city within this place, and a large, there was like a large dome-like structure. Inside the dome structure, she found a bunch of like people in robes that were talking about working for the Great Wisdom. They obviously were kind of what would the word be, Jeff? Would it be like acolytes, or like, worshipers is one word.
Devotees.
Like, devotee, like practicing people that did things for him. And they were discussing killing a man in a glass box, a normal human looking man. What does he look like again, Jeffrey?
Father from Coraline.
The father from Coraline, right? Except in a hospital gown, right? He's essentially in a hospital gown.
Well, yeah, just like a sheet.
A sheet with
his dress shoes on,
but nice shoes, yeah. So they were trying to kill this man. Astrid, overhearing that this man was known as the Wisdom Bane and was incredibly powerful, she quickly slew the cultists. Or worshippers. At what point do religious figures stop being cultists and become considered worshippers or devotees? Like, where does cultist, is it just opinion, matter of opinion?
When they get sexual charges against them in a court of law.
Cultists
The
start
Catholic Church is mostly cultists.
Cultists start with a cult leader. Cultists don't usually become cultists without that. I'm not going to get too into it.
Not
That's
going to get
true.
too
That's a
into
good
it. I
point.
love how 10 years ago people called Mormonism a cult, but normal Christians were good. Not getting into it. Continue.
Okay. We can make a podcast discussing these
I think
different
we
things.
should.
A
Damn it.
real estate Mormon
Fuck
podcast
it. Give it a shot. Let's do a few.
Fuck this episode. Let's do the podcast now.
with it on the side simultaneously.
It will half of it will be this game, the other half will be podcast. So that might actually be a new formula. No, we'll see. So anyway, come for the D&D, stay for the podcast talk.
Holding hot takes.
Well, no, that's what they do on AMC or whatever. They
Speak the Walking Dead or whatever the fuck, the Talking Dead.
Yeah, and The Boys
And
has it too.
Spank the Boys
Yeah.
is the other one. Yeah. So Spank Speak the Boys. I love that show. The show
Talking Dead.
The Talking Dead, not Talking Bad.
It was on AMC. They did it for Breaking Bad too.
It was called Talking Bad.
J. Cole, yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
What's stupid? Oh, Chris, whatever the fuck his name is.
You know, we
I
say
can see how this episode's gonna go.
they also do it for Critical Role. D&D.
Yeah.
They, you know, you say like, yeah, we should do that, but I, being a huge fan of Critical Role, Breaking Bad, and The Boys, have never watched any of those dumb fucking shows because I have no interest.
Like contract mandated to go on a bullshit talking show. It's like, your character just died. How do you feel about that?
I'm out of a job,
Oh,
asshole.
died. It's just like, what do you do? They filmed this like 4 years ago.
All right. So I forgot where I was. So Astrid overhearing that this
We
guy
didn't even get through the recap.
Astrid, do you see why I wanted to make it a short episode? You know, Astrid overhearing that this guy was some sort of powerful being, killed the worshippers and set him free, realizing that he in fact was an incredibly powerful like psychic and psionic sort of person, being able to throw objects across the room and other things like that. Jeff, you see that I did upgrade your character sheet, right? Okay.
I do.
So-
If you see me getting close, I'm looking at my character stuff.
That's fine. So after
I wasn't asking for forgiveness.
you're forgiven anyway. After releasing this man, Astrid did overhear the worshippers saying that something dangerous was locked in the basement. And so through a little looking around, they realized that they needed one of the severed hands of the dead worshippers and placed it in order to open up the floor. The floor opened up to the basement, which was actually known as a place called the Study, which is where they kept a lot of strange and unique creatures, powerful creatures, or just bizarre creatures. There was a whole section where there was sort of a laboratory experiments being done on them, more so dissections and the like. And then another side that was sort of like a barracks. After killing so many people, including ripping the flesh off of one of them and throwing that said flesh at other people, ripping bones out of rib cages and flinging them into the eyes and heads of several people. After killing many people, Astrid began to raise them as zombies and then attacked the experimental laboratory section, releasing all sorts of weird and bizarre, or taking over the dead creatures that were being dissected. And then they moved ever downward to where it was sort of like a prison block full of very strange creatures and objects. There was a strange top hat, a large overcoat, and these were all in their own unique cells. A small little creature, a little green creature with large ears, sharp teeth, yellow eyes, and sort of a mohawk of hair that was released. A little girl that just sort of sat in the center of a room. She was released. A whirlwind of blades and wind that was also released. Many things. And the hallway of cells ended at one large door that all of the sort of battle-hardened worshippers and others barricaded themselves inside of, and that is where Talia's character resided, a large and terrible monster of sheer madness. And as this creature was held in its own containment, Astrid and is Randy, right? Randy? Yeah. Astrid and Randy bust their way in, releasing hordes of zombies and releasing this great creature known as Joy. Joy swiftly began to murder other worshippers, but in the way she explained it, she was just giving them gifts and allowing them to see how wonderful madness can be. They died from it, but that was their fault. At least they got to experience it before they died. After slaying all of these, there was one worshiper left, badly wounded, who said, you would never defeat the wisdom, that the rest of the worshippers have already escaped into the catacombs. And Astrid, I believe you told this man, the last thing that we saw was Astrid saying, "Oh, I'm going to burn down your city, and you are going to help me."
I said, "Welcome to the team."
Welcome to the team where you sliced his throat open. He died and then was raised as a zombie.
That's right. Yes.
Because he is part of.
He's a fighter. He's a fighter. He's like one of the monks that kind of has. There's yeah, sure. Just take a monk, like a low level or like whatever. Just take a monk off of the monster thing, like a Githyanki monk. You know what I mean? He wasn't. He was a human, but the fighters have like they are all in sleeveless robes, and then all the worshippers are in full robes, and they're like skinny people. So we will open up. We will come back there. You were in this large room where Joy was being kept. There are tons of dead people in here now, all being raised just by being near Astrid. They are raising as they die. And Joy, I will say that we mentioned it before, but as you look upon Astrid, she looks so much more beautiful than many of the other creatures that you've seen. Aside from, of course, the great one that you witnessed, she is definitely, she has the gift, and she has that special beauty about her. There are great swirling colors around her and like screaming faces that just sort of flow off of her, and you swear that around her, different than the kind of things that you see, are floating through the room every once in a while are like great ghosts, massive and large, like the ghosts of gods or something. And whatever she has within her, it's almost like you can see her bones, like her spine, and a little bit of her ribs, like inside of her body. They like glow so slightly with such a beautiful madness. So this creature is just very like intriguing to you. But here you all stand in this room. Astrid, the last thing you heard was something about catacombs somewhere underneath you. And now everybody in this building is either dead or dying. The screams upstairs are beginning to die out as the last of your zombies are slaughtering the last of the people who were hiding or what have you. And this hellscape is now almost basically totally under your control. There is the city. It is several miles down that way.
Mm-hmm.
And you can leave and go across because there's nothing near way. You can just walk to the city if you'd like, or you could try to find these catacombs where people have escaped to, or you can like make a sandwich. But here you all, I digress. Here you all are in this room. Take it away, Randy. You feel some sort of way.
No.
However you choose to feel.
I agree. Scared.
All of them are valid.
Well, I mean, because I think I asked this last time.
What's
Do
up?
the catacombs go under the city?
You would assume.
Okay.
Do you want to tell your zombies to spare one of the people that might know their way around and just get some directions? I can say that not everybody's dead upstairs. They can just grab one guy and pull him down. You can
Or speak to the dead.
What?
I don't think I
Speak to the dead.
You could also speak to the dead. Speak to the dead. They have to answer you honestly. I think they can choose not to answer you, but if they do answer it, hey, they can't lie to you. Which is just, come on, what are you gonna do that to me for? What are you gonna do that to the DM for? D&D.
Well, that's why they give you the option to talk around a circle.
I don't think I really need to do that
Yeah.
though, because like, I don't know. When they're resurrected as zombies, they'd still know their way like around, right? No?
It's not them anymore. It's
Hmm.
not them. That's why I said if you don't destroy his head or his mouth, you can use Speak to the Dead and bring him back so that he can watch if you'd like. You know, it's almost like if you cut off somebody's head, you can use Speak to the Dead and you can show them their own burning city, which is fucking so epic. And now I'm going to use that in another game, but like you can do that. So if you'd like to speak with Dead and then talk to him, you can do that. You guys could also rest here if you'd like. It would give the city a lot of time to build, like another day to build. But I mean, you're also pretty potent.
We can do that later.
Okay. Did you fix the D&D Beyond? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Gotta get in there. Gotta get in there. I love D&D Beyond.
What were you at?
Sponsor me.
I was talking about the Speaking to the Dead. I've been thinking a lot about the City of the Dead and the Rising recently. I might reread that.
That's exactly what the zombies aren't. Where like they're still, because in the Rising they basically are just them. They're like they have all their memories and everything. I do not think D&D zombies are like that at all.
Oh no,
They're more like that's more like possessed humans. Like I would consider that more just possessed.
That would be a good like mini campaign, like the Curse of Strahd or whatever, but to do like this location has demon zombies in it.
Yeah, like the Rising, essentially surviving in a bad guys similar to it. Yeah,
Viewers, check out.
That's horrifying because that's almost like they were very similar to the Crossed. If you ever read Crossed, that's like essentially they're the same concept, and that's fucked too. That's bad. Except Crossed is a little easier because you could shoot them in the chest and they'll die. In the Rising, they were just like they just kept coming.
It was like, hard if you want to stop me from eating you.
The what?
You're gonna have to like put me through a meat thresher if you want me to stop coming after you.
That's yeah, exactly. And they could shoot guns and stuff.
I don't want to do that to this guy. I want to save
Yeah.
but
we can bring it back as many times as you want.
yeah, but no, not yet.
I get it. There's an art to it.
But any other person, you know what I mean? Any other whatever.
Okay. There is one that is currently in half, and the rest of his upper part is completely fine. He was just cut in half and then thrown against the wall. He would have to like crawl on his hands, but you could do him. There's one that has what looks like a couple of the blades and swords.
It doesn't matter who.
Okay,
because
let's
I'm
do
only
the half one.
take
That
the
sounds
head,
fun.
So.
That's fine. So there's a half a body
Okay.
of one of the robed worshippers.
All right, I'm only taking the head.
Okay,
So,
you take you probably take out your scalpel, the surgical scalpel where it clean, perfectly cuts through the flesh. What?
Keep going.
Yep. Okay,
Just
so
make sure it's in-
you cut through and
It is.
there you go. You have a severed head of a worshiper, tongue and jaw intact, which is what's required for speak.
Is speak with the dead yes or no questions?
No, I'm not going to do that. You ask him how many questions, I can give you real answers.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna do that.
Especially with how powerful of a necromancer you are now. Like, fuck it.
And I want him to basically be a GPS.
Okay.
Turn left.
Yes. Yes.
Turn
Okay.
right here.
Okay. So do you want your gazer to hold on to him, like bite onto his hair,
Sure.
so he's floating?
Oh,
so there's
yeah.
one little floating head biting the hair of another severed head, and the eyes open, and it looks to you. What do you ask it?
I need you to give me directions to the catacombs. That wasn't a question. How do I get to the catacombs?
And he looks back the way you came.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to go back through the thing.
Was it in
And
that
he's-
first area? Like, I feel like it was in that first area the mess hall or whatever it was.
So he looks and goes back down the hallway and up the stairs, make a left. And the gauger and starts floating with him that way. Do you follow?
Yeah.
So you begin to follow. Randy, you watched all this happen. Again, you feel however you want to feel about it. Joy, you as well. But all of the creatures and these zombies begin to just slowly file and follow Astrid in her
all of them.
terrible lich form. You don't walk anymore, right? You just float everywhere?
Yeah.
I fucking love it. So
Oh,
she just sort of floats out the room. They all like, and like just as they leave, you just see the viscera and blood that was left behind. Some of them like still spilling out pieces, or even some of their bodies being so fresh, continuing to bleed their real blood, just all over. As this room that was once, pretty pristine and clean and kept, sanitary for the purposes of keeping you locked the fuck down, Joyce, now it's just a fucking disgusting mess. In fact, Randy, you kind of like slip a little bit as you walk, like with because you're wearing dress shoes, they have no grip, so it's just like, when you're walking to the work
and I'm walking barefoot.
The what?
I take them off and I'm walking barefoot.
See, just like wet. Joy, you have absolutely no issue with your horrible giants like insectoid legs just sort of yeah, you can like crawl on the walls and shit, you can do whatever you want. As your twisted terrible form follows. Is there anything you guys wanted to do in this, looking at those cells, or anything you just want to keep going?
I opened them all.
All right, you are, actually, Randy, you are wearing the overcoat and the top hat,
I want to
correct?
say, I do have some clothes in
Gotta
there.
give me an item.
Which item did you take?
What item did I take?
Oh, the whip! The whip. I didn't make it. Oh no, I forgot about the whip.
It's okay.
Oh, I knew I forgot something. Damn it. I'm
okay.
sorry, I'm working on two
No,
D&Ds.
it's okay.
All right, you have the whip, but don't worry. We're gonna use we'll use the rule of fun for that, which is use it whenever you want, and it'll be fucking awesome. Okay.
For the best.
What's your spellcasting DC?
Probably 20. Saving?
No, like when you cast a spell, like what stat do you use to cast? Wisdom or charisma?
Both.
Willpower. Use willpower and charisma?
No. Charisma and wisdom. My as a what am I? Warlock, it's charisma.
Okay.
And as a cleric, it's wisdom.
All right, we'll use the charisma one because that's higher,
Yes.
right? So whenever you cast with it, I want you to roll a d20 and add your charisma, and then and then you just think about what effect you want, and we'll see how well it goes. So we'll just use rule of fun for that. For now.
That's right. It opens up holes.
Yeah, and then when you get back to the real game, I'll definitely have it because when you're in the king fight, it needs to have real rules. But for this, this is fun time. So you follow the instructions of the severed head up the stairs, and to the left you find the barracks. Now most of the bodies are gone because they're behind you and they're hanging out with you now. So a lot of people with like pieces of ribs through their head and like with the exception of the one that was utterly destroyed and crumpled into meat and his flesh was ripped off and his torso ripped off. That one isn't walking with you, but his pieces are moving around. You can see it like arms and like the head gnashing and stuff. So beware the breathless seems to just pretty much everything that's alive. And when you reach the front of the barracks, go forward through the door and to the right. And you guys continue. Your gazer continuously mimicking the creature. But his mouth is full. As you guys pile through, you go through the door, and there's two corridors. One that goes long to the left, and one that goes long to the right, and a large door in front of you. But if you don't give a shit, you just go right and start going down. Okay. You guys all pile through. Eventually, you reach a large staircase, like pretty wide, that goes down. And you can see a couple, there's two torches on the side of this that sort of illuminate it. You have dark vision, though, right? You don't need it. Randy, would you like to grab one of those torches because you can't see in the dark? Okay. As you begin to make your way down this long staircase, follow the staircase to the end and go forward 100 feet and make a left. As he is continually giving you GPS directions.
Good.
When you reach the bottom of the stairs, you can see what appears to be it's a wide room that ends in like a smaller sort of tunnel entrance. So it's not single file, but you guys could probably only go through it's like 3 people wide probably.
Mm.
So it'll be like sort of a tight march of your creatures as they go through.
Oh, that's fine. Send some in the front.
Oh,
Like we'll be sandwiched in the middle.
you want a nice chunk of people?
If
Okay.
it's that small.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I'm
Okay.
not falling for any traps. I'm not a rogue.
you have perpetual trap buffer. Well, fuck me, I guess. All right. So as you get, I thought I was being clever.
Mm-mm.
What
happened?
What?
What happened?
So I said that there's a smaller entrance to the catacombs. So Amanda goes, "Oh, okay. Send like half of the zombies in front of us and half of them behind us, and we'll just be in the middle." She goes, "Fuck the traps." I'm like,
I'm not
that's a
rogue.
really good way to. Okay, so here's what we got going on. As the head gives you directions, you begin to walk.
Mhm.
It's not long before the stone walls start to turn into these slots. Stop it. Start to turn into these slots. Sort of like long ways, and in them you can see piled are skulls and bones arranged, entire human skeletons packed into their own little sections. Eventually, as
Did
you
they come back to life?
so as you first your zombies walk
Shit.
ahead of you, and we see this as the zombies pass all these skeletons. Then as Astrid, as you get closer, all the skeletons begin to like shake and vibrate. What?
Is it the foundation of the cave?
No.
Okay.
No. They're not holding it up. They're just packed in there. As they begin to pour out among your guys' feet, and as you guys pass these skeletons, they begin to build themselves behind you.
Big
one. There may be a few. As you walk, you do see that up ahead, you can hear, and some of your zombies just like get destroyed by what looks like some sort of swinging blade, and then it gets caught, and the other zombies grab it and snap it off, and some of them are now carrying the blades like going, so they're yeah.
Do they come back to life because I'm near them? How does your
No. Once they're destroyed,
Okay.
they're destroyed.
Okay.
If they die the first time,
Yeah.
they're done. If they die a second time, a zombie is destroyed.
Okay.
So like it destroys their body enough to kill them, but the other ones snap it off. So don't worry, you can get so goddamn many skeletons.
No.
Don't worry about it. They fucking break off the blade, and one of them is like like holding the blade like and he kind of holds it up like he did it, like he did a good job. They continuously walk. The bones around you as the corridor begins to widen. It looks like the tunnel was beginning to like they changed. When they were first creating it, it seems like they were creating it small, and then they're like, "Oh fuck, we need to make it bigger." And it seems like it expands a little bit. Now you can have a few more people, like 5 shoulder to shoulder, as they begin walking, and you can see the walls and the ceilings adorned with these bones. The ceilings, they're tied up with like these strings, and as you walk, they all begin to rattle and shake as they begin to pour down and rain upon you as you're walking. And I imagine this shot of like tons of zombies in front of you. You guys, bones raining around you as there's tons of zombies behind you, and the bones, as they slam to the floor, begin to build themselves into skeletons. It is a horrible, sort of macabre, and sort of beautiful kind of event. And as you're walking, a large pit opens in front of your zombies as they begin to pour in. And I imagine you don't even slow down, because by the time you reach it, it is now you can walk across them, and you can see that the other ones simply walk. Every trap that is in your way, there's acid pits, there's poison darts. They definitely made this place to try and stop anybody who is doing exactly what you're doing. But because you have such an intense and powerful spell, the skeletons throw themselves and the zombies throw themselves in front of these traps before you even hit it. And with every one that is destroyed, 3 more take their place among the skeletons that are around you. Astrid, you can feel a control of so many down here. There are other tunnels that split off that you're not going down because you're following the head. Those in those tunnels are also affected and waking up. Yes.
I mean, people ran down here, so are there signs of people? Like, are there dead people? who didn't know there was a trap there?
No.
Is there any indication where the people went?
No, you would assume they went in the same direction as the head. They had a bit of a head start of you because
Head start.
you're like, I don't give a shit, let them run. And the ones teleported. So first of
Oh.
all, where they teleported in here, you don't know. And second of all, these guys work here. They probably know where all the traps are and to avoid it.
Yeah, but yeah.
He's not telling you about any traps because that's not what you asked.
Mm-mm.
And the soul wants you to run into them because the soul wants you to die. But, you know, he's a severed head, so fuck him. But so you haven't seen anybody quite yet. You're probably not gaining on them either because you're walking behind a whole bunch of zombies. You're a slow-moving progression here.
Mhm.
They're running.
Mhm.
So they're probably going to get to the city faster than you are.
That's fine.
One
I
boy,
just want to make sure we're going the right way.
You assume you're going the right way. And this head can't lie, so if you do get an answer,
Mhm.
you know it's a correct answer.
Okay.
So to the best of this man's ability, he is leading you to the city.
Okay.
Okay. But by the time you reach the tunnel opens up to a massive corridor, cavern, whatever. You're underground. It is definitely man-made. It is smooth and it is large and round. And as you walk in, you can see what looks like tons of bones all around you as they rattle and shake in the walls. What would be like a fucking cool, like if you were an adventuring group, an adventuring party, this would be like a fucking spooky, scary, like boss arena looking place. But for you, Astrid, you're like, dope, this must be the armory. And you're just awakening all of these people as they pour or as they rattle and shake in their holes. You can see in the center of this great room what looks to be some sort of folded up like metal monstrosity, and it unfolds itself and rises, its eyes kind of alight with this bright blue light, and it is this large metal thing, like a construct of some kind with a great metal sword. And as it's sitting there in front of you, it holds its hand out to you and says, "In the name of the wisdom, none shall pass." And slams its sword in the ground, like ready.
Is it in front of like a hall? You know?
So it looks like there's a bunch of doorways that
Yeah.
lead to this room. It looks like the catacombs were probably set up to lead most intruders here. And then from here, you don't know which door to pick.
Hmm.
As you stare, and as he says, "You shall not move past," with the rattling of the bones, the head goes, "Third corridor to the right," and you're like, like that way. That's where you need to go. But you still have to, no matter where you want to go here, you still have to get past him because it's still across the room from you.
Mm-hmm.
So this great and terrible construct is in front of you. I actually have a mini of him, but it's downstairs.
Okay.
God, I can't wait till we can all play together for the next campaign. Ooh, get your vaccines and then come and play with me on our table.
Never playing D&D in person again.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. I bought a house for this. That's why I bought the house. So you have, in this room alone, you have probably close to like 800 skeletons that are in the walls. That's not even the ones that you have access to right now. Those are the ones that are waking up. So the real question for me is, do you just want to throw hordes at this thing until it dies, or do you guys actually want to fight it? Because you have enough to probably just topple it and get it out of your way. You would
They could
hurt a
actually
lot of
just
your own creatures, but
hold it down. You know what I mean? Like with enough of them.
they will rain from the sky on him. It's just like, I don't know how you want to work it. Do you want to be like, oh no, that's a waste of resources, or do you want to go ahead and waste your resources on
What
this
kind
thing?
of head?
It won't be like your whole army's not gone. You know, it's just a large detachment this thing would take.
I mean, that's fine. I don't care.
So
I'd rather that than waste my remaining 2 spell slots. You know what I mean?
What did you say about its head?
its eyes like glowed blue, like some sort of blue energy. But it's got kind of like a small metal head, but a large metal sword, and like
What's its body made out of?
metal. It's a construct, so it's just made of metal. It's like think of like a large metal like suit of armor or a large metal statue that can move.
I want
and
to
it looks
telekinesis
like a
and
knife.
Have you
tether
guys
around.
played Zelda?
You what?
Have you guys played Zelda, like
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time or whatever?
Yeah.
There's an enemy in there that is essentially that. Like it's
Like a big cartoon knight.
Like the
Like a
dwarf-
big cartoon knight. Yes. Yeah. So what do you want to do with it, Jeff?
Twist its head off with telekinesis.
you okay. So does it? I think it's gonna roll strength to see if it can resist you.
Sure.
Ugh,
no.
probably not. I
Wow.
rolled a 4.
What a guy.
That's
Want me to
pretty
roll
low.
against it?
And for how potent he is, it's probably to resist your. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say. So here's what's gonna happen. You walk up, Randy. You putting on your shoes again because you probably put on your shoes back because now it's dirty. It's like dirty floor. So you're like, ew, gross. And you, which is gross because there's a bunch of blood now on your feet in the whatever. So you're wearing it with your large
Coat it
overcoat.
with some sand.
The what?
I coat the blood with some sand. So
Oh, there's perfect. Yeah, you walk over in your large overcoat and top hat, and you look up at the thing, and your top hat goes, "Wow, he's like so big." You just reach out your hands and as he goes, "None shall pass," and the head fucking splits and rips off. And you can hear the voice emanate from like inside the body, and it goes, "I cannot see. I cannot see," and it just starts swinging its sword around wildly, like bashing and slamming anything in its way. And the sword goes, "Hey, good job, guy," to you, or the hat goes, "Hey, good job, idiot," as it's now swinging its sword like a maniac. Do you just?
What great defense.
You can't see, he's scared. So you this isn't my programming. When can't see, swing wild. Would you like to do anything, Joy, or would you just like to let the tide of skeletons take this thing?
grow wings and try to snatch the sword out of its hands.
Ooh, okay. All right, okay. So you guys watch as Joy's body becomes even more horrific somehow as wings begin to rip and twist and form out of their body. And what do the wings look like? Are they like bat wings? Are they like bird wings? Are they just like big, weird, fleshy chicken without feathers wings?
I was imagining literally, you know, like when characters in cartoons get hit on the head really hard and they've got those stupid little birds flying around.
Yes.
Stupid cartoony wings. Like the actual transformation is gory, like you were saying. You expect this crazy thing, but there's like rows of just
So it's like and the sound is terrible, and then you just see these little fleshy appendages that with little yellow feathers, and they just begin to lift Joy's body. It looks like they shouldn't lift Joy's body. It doesn't make any sense. It's like little Cthulhu wings, except bird wings, and there's many of them as they slowly carry Joy's body over. And as you get towards the sword, as it's whipping around, I want you to first, I want you to make a dexterity saving throw so that you do not get hit by this.
We need to get a better dice roller.
Yeah, give me.
There's a Wizards of the Coast one that should be good. If you go
Oh, I'm just gonna use this because this thing hits hard.
this one, too.
Yeah.
Are you done with your dice?
I'll use that number, but
Are you mad at them?
Well, no, I have to use this.
Ah,
aha!
What'd you get?
19
Oh, okay.
dex. To
Then you
avoid-
will only take half damage of his very powerful sword.
Oh.
So you take 11 damage instead of the 22 that he would have done.
Let me open a calculator app because I'm not going to be able to remember.
You have a lot of health, I'm pretty sure.
I do, but I'm not going to be able to remember off the top of my head where
That's
I'm
fine.
at. I don't have it pulled up. So calculator.
And then you and him are just gonna have a straight like strength contest to see if you can rip that shit out of his hands.
Okay.
But I imagine as he swings, you dodge the blade, but like curl around it with your body and then start pulling with your little feathers to like rip it out of his hand.
22.
I don't know about you.
Legit,
I'm
as in,
feeling
not natural, but I did get to a 20. So well, you beat him by 2. So as he swings, God, this sucks. This guy's getting fucked. As he swings, and I'm trying to think, his head probably would weigh a little less than a ton, so it's still effective in telekinesis, so it works. As you grab the sword, rips from his grasp. As he goes, my sword, the wisdom will be so upset with me, and he's like slamming the ground. Now you have a giant metal sword that you can just carry. I'm just gonna say you can wield it if you choose to. Or you can hold on to it later. So Astrid, the creature cannot see. It has no more sword.
Yes.
And the skeletons are breaking loose from their tethers. Would you just like to let them pour upon him?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay.
Just because I want to save my energy for whatever is in.
Rob. As this massive construct is like punching the ground and swinging his hands, skeletons begin to rain down upon him, hundreds of them, pouring down onto its body as he flings one easily off and like 2 more take its place, and he just becomes swallowed in a tide of these things that are like like punching him, like bang 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 onto his armor. And some of them, there's so many of them that they're like working together to like pull one of his arms. He falls to the ground just under like the weight and the pressure of them, as some of them pull at his legs and push at his legs. He falls to the ground and they begin to rip off his hands violently, begin to go for his joints, punching them, throwing their bodies at them. Just the sheer force of all of these creatures slamming into it, and you just watch and you hear him go, what are you doing? Stop it. No, I need those, as they rip one of his arms off, and like the arm gets wild and then just sort of stops, and they begin to rip it apart, and he goes, no, tell my wife I love her. As he just he had a wife and kids. You don't even give a shit.
He's like a robot.
You don't know what he is.
Ghost.
You don't know what he is.
Soldier.
You don't know where he came from. You don't know his life. So the construct torn to pieces in front of you. A lot of skeletons were destroyed, but still more fall from the walls and the ceiling, landing amongst the wreckage of this big twisted metal thing. They rise, and you see how some of them are looking at the metal and like,
Yes. Yes. Oh, I thought they were putting it on themselves.
They could if you tell them.
Yeah.
They begin to rip off pieces. Some of them ripping off smaller shreds of it and wearing it as armor. 3 of or a couple of them pick up his arm and are just carrying it, like they don't understand. Like they're just like, cool. One of them, one of his fingers, they put over like their whole torso, and they're like this, and you can see it's on their torso and their legs, and they can't walk right, and they're just sort of like a walking like pylon of metal. So you can see them not totally understanding, but what you do have is a front line covered in metal, like a front line of skeletons that can be essentially, and some of them rip off plates that are so big they can use as shields.
So, question.
Yes.
Where did the head go?
Well, he didn't crush it. All he did was twist it off.
Yeah.
And so it's sitting like over there somewhere.
I want to put it on the monk guy. You know, as
like a large helmet.
Yeah.
Okay. You go over, you pick it up, and as you pick it up, it goes. What are you to do with me?
He's dead.
He's not. He's still in there.
I'm putting it on there. I'm ignoring it.
No, stop. And this one. You can see like some blood as like you cut his face a little bit with the.
There's a
the metal. Yeah, it's not supposed to go on a person. You just shoved it on there. Yeah. It's twisted, ripped metal from him being separated from the rest of the body. So it just like his face half off as it slides on, and the robot goes gross. And the other. Do you want to pop out his eyes so the guy can see through the eye holes?
Sure.
Stop! And you throw the little glass things to the ground.
Well, you couldn't see anyway.
That's true. I guess he could see, but he was over there. He's in the dirt. He couldn't really see. So now this guy has a big. It's obscenely large. It's too big for him. It doesn't look like a normal helmet. It's like probably that big, like.
Oh my god.
Side to side. So the thing that you put on him is about this big, like.
Yeah.
He can carry it because he's a zombie, so he has like basically all of his, like, you know, zombies can push their body to limits, but you can tell like he's very like off balance.
Fine.
He's not going to be a good like warrior.
He's
but
not supposed
he
to.
He will probably survive because he has this
point.
giant. Yeah. That's what I thought. Any arrows that rain down, that the helmet will just block them before they even touch him.
Good.
So you do have a lot of skeletons that have now ripped up metal and things with them, large shields and such. Some of them are just dragging large plates together. As you enter the tunnel, you follow still more skeletons, and you do come to eventually you come to what looks like a room with 4 large coffins all on their own. And as you enter this room, the coffins begin to shake.
Yeah.
And the head goes, "You have arrived at the Sacred One's temple. Go." I'm doing the robot voice. "You've arrived at the Sacred One's temple. Go to the left and follow the stairs to the graveyard in the city."
Oh shit.
So you are now pretty much under the city, and in these coffins there are bodies, but they're mummified, which means they're considered zombies.
Oh.
And they feel powerful.
Are they mummies?
They would be, yeah, I guess essentially they'd be mummies.
Mummies are stronger than zombies.
You're right, actually. I forgot about that. Yes, they're mummies.
Okay.
Would you like to change or alter them? Or would you like to change or alter any of the zombies that you have?
What do you mean? Like dress them up?
No, like put a inside of them with some of your blood, or put a flower inside of them with some of your blood, and mutate them into the plant zombies, into the lickers, into any greater creatures. This is essentially a chamber that you can... Oh, I'm sorry. The center of this room is covered, and the floor is covered in runes.
Mm-hmm.
This is essentially a ritual chamber.
Mm-hmm.
It is used for whatever rituals they want to do, but it will cut, it will greatly lessen the time of any rituals.
Hmm.
Which means, and that those are usually rituals that might take like a half an hour. Here they might take like 5 minutes. If you want to make some potent zambles.
Okay, yeah, I'll make a couple, I guess, because
Okay,
I
it
don't
will
know if
require
actually-
5 HP from you each time.
Okay.
Okay, what do you want to make? Write it down.
How many are, you said 4 in this room?
There's 4 like powerful
I guess I
mummies,
have
but you can leave them
whatever.
as mummies if
Yeah.
you want. And then there's little feet.
Yeah, he's dreaming.
Little feet boy.
Do I just have the ingredients? Because I definitely didn't come prepared.
There are plenty of tongues from the zombies.
Okay.
You can rip out and then bleed on them and then shove them back in their mouths or their bodies or whatever to make liquors. You have flowers. Let me just say that you have those.
Okay.
You can have a few lizards if you want to. There aren't any dogs or anything though.
No, I'll make some. Make, I guess, 2 liquors.
Okay. And keep them with you, yeah. Or send them as sneaky boys.
Let me just.
Lickers and hunters are pretty stealthy, right?
Yeah, I guess they're kind of quiet. So I'll make 2 liquors, 2 hunters, 2 IVs to keep it simple.
Okay.
Not kickers.
Now, you have a lot of
4
skeletons. You have a lot of zombies. You have a lot of pieces. If you wanted to make the yeah.
Okay, I'll make one.
You gonna make a giant one?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are these?
There is also I don't want to say it to spoil it, but there is one spell that was near the bottom of your book that was pretty potent.
Hang on. What may say?
And you definitely have enough bodies to make it.
Hang on.
My D&D Beyond is being slow.
The thing with this too is it like dumped all of my spells.
Oh
Do you
no,
remember,
I
like,
forgot
3
about that.
weeks ago,
Yes,
whenever
yes.
we last played.
So
Which
open Creech Rotting Opus.
Okay.
Okay, and oh,
Are you sure it was Creed?
So I destroyed him.
I thought it was.
Maybe I don't have it yet. Whatever.
No. You should have it. It was a.
Is it in the T-Virus?
Bad game.
Bad game.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help you look something up.
Overdosing on that bad
My
game.
character. This is definitely not in my thing. Is it a
Yeah, I
spell?
don't. So
It
it's
never
not.
made a
It's not
spell.
because these are rituals. So I put them in here because I didn't want.
That one is.
What?
That one's in my spell.
I know because I made that one well before, but this
Oh.
this one isn't like a spell. I don't think. I think this is something.
Did you like if I were?
Because it's
to
only a
search
ritual.
it-
You can't just do it. It's a
Yeah.
ritual. You need like a ritual space to do it like
Yeah.
quickly.
But if I go to D&D Beyond, did you make a homebrew of it? Like, would I be able to read what it does?
No, because it's essentially like a 9th level spell without being a spell.
Okay, I'll
It
take
won't take a spell slot. Okay, so that'll take a large amount of this space. Here's what I'll say. It'll take a little bit to make,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit to create,
Mm-hmm.
and then once you create it, it needs to sort of like build upon itself.
Okay.
So you can continue up, and it will continue to build down here,
Okay.
and then essentially you can call upon it when you want to at like
Okay.
a cool opportune time.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Now it's going to take a lot of creatures, but
Yeah, whatever.
whatever.
There's
Okay,
always
that's it.
more.
There's always more.
Okay.
Okay, so you create you guys I don't we've
I'm
gone
being-
over this I think before.
I'm being a scientist right now.
So you can see as Astrid, this creature begins to take some of the zombies, rips their tongues out, cuts her own hand, bleeds on the tongue, shoves them back in their mouth, and you see the zombies like and they begin to mutate and change, their flesh ripping, they becoming more muscular, large bone claws erupt from their hands, and their tongue grows to be massive and ends in like a barb. And you see them like like crawl around as these monsters. Are you gonna make some plant ones?
Yeah, so 2 hunter, 2 IV, 2 liquor.
Okay. She creates two of these creatures with large tongues. She creates 2 like reptilian looking beasts that have like large claws, all of them from dead bodies. And 2 undead like plant like monsters with big whippy claws and a big Venus flytrap mouth. And the 4 coffins erupt to be like these 4 mummies. You can see them. They are there was definitely some sort of ritual done for them, as they have like they're adorned in like nice gold
Yeah.
jewelry and things like that. Yeah, and they're wrapped in the ceremonial cloth, and you can't see any of their faces. It's just this cloth around them with a big symbol of an eye in the middle, kind of painted that like runs down. As they sit up and just and like crawl out, they just seem more powerful. Like they just like kind of emanate power as they rise up and look to you, Astrid. There is a large staircase that goes upward, further upward, that you can just begin to send
Okay.
some of your zombies if you want, and then you guys can leave whenever. But as you guys move in the center of the room, a bunch of zombies stop and skeletons stop. And you can see as Astrid kind of turned and began to like weave magic enchantments in the air, you can see that these zombies and skeletons begin to like, some of them just drop to the floor, and other ones walk over and start shoving their hands inside of them, and like whoop, and like they shove their hands inside of them and just begin to scream, as other ones begin to climb onto them and shove their hands like into their ribs or like down their throats and into their mouths. You see some of them like open each other up and crawl inside. You see as some of them begin to wrap around each other, snapping each other's bones and cartilage in order to fit together. And you can see them begin to pile on top of each other, screaming, roaring, and gurgling, as Astrid finishes the enchantment and then just begins to walk away. As you can see, they're continuing to do something, as she's now like, whatever, and she just begins to float up the stairs. Randy, this is probably like just the worst day of your life, but it's so
hat down like over my eyes a little.
more so like the vision of it. Think of the smell.
No, the smell. Think of the smell.
Think of the smell, as it's just, you know, the worst. Dusty bones and fresh viscera. It's the worst. As you guys begin to float and follow, what?
He keeps grabbing me.
He does?
Yeah.
What is he doing? He's grabbing his
He's
mouth?
no, he's stretching.
Our puppies
Really
are so cute.
quickly, I want Joy to eat the sword. To just like split her body open and hulk
Okay.
and then eat it.
Okay, so as Astrid is building these creatures, right? As Astrid's doing her experiment, you're like, oh, I have an idea. And you take the sword, you jam it in the ground, I guess, face down, ready yourself. Your mouth stretches long ways and then splits, and where it splits, more teeth just sort of like line up as you and begin to swallow the sword into yourself. Is there a goal?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm saving it
Are
for
we?
later.
You what?
I'm saving it for later. I have a skill that's look what I found, and
Oh
it's,
my God! Yes, you do. Yes,
I had that for other things as well. But I'm figuring now is a good time to prepare for look what I found.
it's perfect. That's a good. Okay, so you swallow this very large metal sword that does do. By the way, just write this down. It does 3d12 damage.
Well, it did.
The what?
Well, it did.
It's not hidden.
It did. Well, it's still in there. So if you ever use it, if you ever use it, that's how much damage you're gonna roll. If you like
That's a lot of damage.
puke it out on somebody or something. So so you have this this large fucking sword that you and you just sort of eat it. Did you make any giant?
Oh, I said I made one.
Okay.
Yes.
Many of the a giant skeleton.
Yes.
Many of the skeletons sort of fuse together and create a massive cacophony of skeletons that's they're about 20 feet high, I believe, giants.
Giant shark skeleton?
What? Is that new?
I don't know.
Let me see.
Well, there's nothing there.
What? I'm sorry, I never gave you a giant flying shark skeleton. That's something for Astrid to
Sharknado.
learn after. Sharknado, yes. God, that's a 9th level spell. So you see these massive skeletons. Joy, you eat this huge sword. I love the prepping here. Randy, is there anything you want to do to prep while all these abominations are doing abomination stuff?
I want to ask,
Playing with the sand in your.
am I safe here?
You what?
I want to ask the floating lady, hey, person, what, am I protected here? Are they going to turn on me?
What, these guys?
Yeah,
We just walked. How many miles did
I know. I'm just saying.
we walked a few miles and
We haven't even spoken to one another. I'm just saying. I just want to protect, number one here.
One of them begins to swallow the head of another one, gurgling and roaring as the one goes, "Ah!" And you're just.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, thank you.
And so, with that, you as you look
I look
after
at
she
the
answers
bug,
you.
like, are we okay here? Okay, I look at the bug. It's like over the sword. I'm like, okay, well, I am totally alone here.
as she answers you,
Oh, I got my
you hear,
sarcastic cat talking to me too.
Yeah.
as she answers you saying like, yeah, you're fine, you go, okay, and then you stare at them ripping each other apart, and you hear the hat in your head go, yeah, I'm sure you're totally fine, as it just likes to be an asshole.
Son, sit back down.
I gotta open this.
Sit back down.
D&D Beyond, please. Okay, good. So you are prepared. You have a nice, sizable, like horde-like army,
Mm-hmm.
and something growing in the base in this ritual chamber.
Mhm.
You have your 4. I'm sure you keep these ones kind of closer. This is like your A team. You have your 4 mummies, your 2 lickers, 2 hunters, and 2 plant zombies, and then just a big ol' and a giant skeleton, and just a ton of fucking zombies, skeletons. So you guys begin to ascend. The head goes. Reach the top of the staircase and exit
Yeah,
the
I don't need it
mausoleum,
anymore.
and you will. as you just throw him down the steps, and as his head rolls, you will reach the city of Bethillica. And one of the zombies grabs it and pulls it into whatever mass is being done. And as you guys walk up, you reach what looks like a sort of large, like marble columns, a marble floor. There is, like in like tombs or mausoleums, there's the people like behind the concrete. With like just the plaques, you can hear like
Skyrim.
Yeah, and you can hear like
The track.
like the bodies rattling around inside the concrete. You can leave them in there if you want. It's just
as we're going through whatever random zombies and skeletons,
just start busting them out.
Yeah.
So some of the skeletons and zombies break away and start smashing it. They pick up like just stuff that they find, or they just start punching the concrete with their hands until
I want to break some open with my telekinesis.
Oh, nice. As Randy kind of walking with your overcoat and your top hat, you just, as it, you start like destroying it, and from it like pours out more skeletons and zombies and, mostly rotted bodies. And you guys walk out of this mausoleum and walk into a grand, large cemetery.
Lord.
The edges of the cemetery glisten as there is a large, what looks like some sort of force field that goes high above it like a dome. The city was warned. The city, you let people get away, so the city knows you're coming. Okay, so the city knows you're coming, so they have prepared. There's a large force field around the entirety of the cemetery. As you begin to walk down the cemetery towards the shimmering wall, more bodies begin to erupt out of the ground. You can feel them, Astrid, climbing and clawing their way through the dirt, punching their way out of their own coffins to get to you.
Is this a big graveyard?
Pretty big.
For the whole city or whatever? Or
So
is it just one in the city?
It's the graveyard for the city, and it's big as hell. And then there is the catacombs where they, because they've been doing this for a long time. That's why there's so many fucking skeletons. There's more pouring out. You can see other mausoleums that were connected to the catacombs. The doors bust open as there's more that kind of push open their doors, look around, and look to you, and like, and begin to follow you. This tide of dead coming with you and waking up as you walk to the edge of this great sort of shimmering wall. And what you see beyond this wall is a lot of people, a lot of warriors armed and ready, a lot of mages that are powering this force field and readying their own, kind of like Doctor Strange shit, where they're like, they got like fucking energy circles around their hands, and they're ready for you. You can see all of this, but you see among the hundreds of fighters and mages ready to face you, floating above them all, Astrid, is someone that you take notice of.
Yeah.
It is a man in a fine cloak.
Okay.
He pulls back the hood to reveal a red tiefling with a chipped horn, the left side of his face scarred horribly with a blast of magical energy that you had once released. His eye gone, replaced with a black gem with a white energy source within it. The last time you saw this man, he had left you for dead after badly wounding you and scarring your face beyond recognition.
I'm gonna cast.
Hold on.
Synaptic.
Hold on. Let me finish my fucking thing. Floating above you is your uncle, Jiren Proudmore. Now do whatever you want. Why you gotta fucking shit on my parade? Go ahead.
I'm not. It's just as I see him, as you describe my character seeing him.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
So the second you see him, as he pulls off his cloak,
Yeah.
Astrid, you cast.
Don't make me say it again.
Synaptic stack.
Thank you.
Synaptic. Oh shit, that is hard.
Yeah.
Synaptic. What is it?
Synaptic static.
Static. Thank you.
Is that what it was?
So is he get a saving throw at all?
Yeah.
Okay, because he's a powerful boy.
No, I'm stronger.
Okay, well, we'll see about that, I guess. I guess we'll see about that.
Hi, Rebar.
Ah.
Hi, Meatball.
It was intelligence.
Meatball.
Do you see him?
Little meatball.
Oh.
Do you see our sweet boy?
Yeah, it's intelligence.
It's intelligence. Well, he gets, I'll tell you, he does get a +4 to intelligence. So
What is it?
So his total was 8.
Oh, okay.
So I'm really upset with my rolls. So what happens to
He
this,
takes
my poor boy?
32 32.
Okay, that's too much.
Psychic
That's a lot of damage.
Stop fighting me.
All right, that's not bad though. He can roll with this.
And he has
That's it.
one
No,
thoughts.
stop it. What does that mean?
He has to roll a d6 for basically everything for the next minute and subtract it from his rolls.
From just any roll?
Attack, ability,
All right, any roll.
constitution, saving throws, blah, blah, blah.
Fuck. Okay. So as he takes off the hood, looks to you and goes, Astrid, it seems that you just wave your hand, he goes, motherfucker, and you can see it begins
No,
to
it's an explosion. It's a psychic
So just-
explosion.
It's like- you see the mage is like looking, he goes, oh God, and he's bleeding from his nose and his one good eye, and he goes, oh, you sniveling witch, and he goes, he just is like, fuck it, arcade barrage, and he points inward, and you can see, I gotta get to my. He points towards you, and from behind him, from the city rooftops, you see, and a bunch of these balls of energy start flying towards you guys.
Both of you, stop.
So, you, Astrid,
Yeah.
and anybody near you has to make a dexterity saving throw.
My being.
Can I create
Yep.
my psionic armor?
What's up? Yes, you can. So dexterity saving throws for everybody. Oh shit, hold on.
13.
Ooh,
Wait.
do it.
Yes, 13. Pretty bar, you
That's
ruined it.
Saving throw. That's not.
Ooh, that's good.
So instead
Oh
of
no.
Saving throws.
No, I can't let you go. You'll pee.
your wisdom's
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Oh man, these are good. Oh, all right. No.
I can't let you go. You'll pee.
All of you are well, what was yours was 13? What was yours, Randy?
I fumbled. 1.
Okay, what was yours, Joy?
14.
None of them are high enough. As from through the force field, kind of, and allowing it in, are these large globs of fire. And they just start boom, 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 blasting into you and your hordes. All of you
Come on.
are going to take, I believe it was 30 fire
30
damage.
damage. That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. Well, especially for you, Randy. You're not as, I think, tough as everybody else. As these fireballs just start boom, boom, boom. Are any of you unconscious?
No.
Okay, so after the blast, you all kind of like looking around. A bunch of the zombies were destroyed, but more begin to flow in, and you can see some of the mages and the fighters like kind of looking at each other like, "Oh shit!" This force field still stands in front of you.
Stop.
Astrid, you can see that there's a bunch of mages powering the force field.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we should take just like a 5 or 10 minute break because our dogs need to go outside.
Sure.
That's unacceptable.
No, don't
Okay.
jump in and hang yourself.
Yes. All right. I'm gonna keep that recording going. I'll just mute.
Yeah, us too. We just got to take our dogs out real quick.
Oh, look at that fat girl!
Yeah,
Oh, the
baby.
meatball!
Yeah, baby.
Oh my god, that's a Jackie O move right there.
Where is it?
Look at that face.
Yeah. Look at that.
She
Good.
watches TV, so I'm
She
sure
does
she's
watch
actually
TV.
watching.
Yeah. Don't lick my hand. Gross.
I think Pandora and Jackie
Actually,
O.
you're not gross. You don't eat your own poop. He does.
I think she's more Jackie than she is Boofer. Boofer would never let us.
Let me get in your mouth.
He's just too tubby. All right, we'll be back.
Being bitey.
Look at that stretch.
He likes to jump up. Jesus.
It scared him. It scared him.
We have a recliner that he jumps on and it moves, so he fucking panics.
Stupid dog. So dumb.
I'm gonna go to bed. Ridiculous.
They're fighting through the blanket.
They're fighting through the blanket, and that makes it so much more exciting.
It's like Mormonism again. That's the topic of today's real estate podcast.
That's the
Oh,
title of
everything
the
through a
episode.
sheet.
When we
Everything's
were
okay
evil
if it's through a
Mormons.
hole in a sheet.
Magic sheet.
Is that an actual part of their religion,
I
Jeff?
don't think it's Mormonism, but there's somebody does it through a sheet.
I thought that was like an anti-Islamic.
Why is that? Why was that the symbol for that?
I don't know.
Nobody does it through a sheet.
Somebody out there does it through a sheet.
I don't think it's the Mormons though.
So you guys just got slammed with this arcane. Let's bring it back.
No.
We're in a fantasy realm. You guys are all fantasy people and
We have
creatures.
sheets in front of
You're
us.
surrounded by oh man, I whistled for some reason. You're surrounded by a bunch of zombies and skeletons facing off against a force behind a force field, ready to fight you. There are less of them than there are of you, but there are still a lot of them. And your forces are mostly weak, but there's a ton of them.
Mm-hmm.
They just hit you with a big arcane barrage of fireballs, which is essentially what that was. The ground scorched, but many of your zombies rising again, or overthrowing the ones that have drowned, and you guys picking yourselves up. Astrid, you know that some spells were are able to get through this, as you were able to, synaptic static him, but you're not sure how much else is able to get through. Randy, you can feel the other side, so it looks like this is
There you go. Dog dad stance right there.
I thought he was gonna wrap her up in the blanket.
Where did I mess up? Was it all the way back here?
hello.
Hello.
Real estate podcast.
What?
Talia said they're just babies.
They are. They're still very young.
They're just babies. That's all it
But
is.
it doesn't stop me from beating them.
Fat
The
meatball.
like rebars bark.
It's very shrill. It's a little too much for me. He has a deep bark. He just refuses to use it. I've
That's
heard him.
'cause
He uses it like when people are coming through the front gate,
Yeah,
and he's like,
not
he's like, hey.
He's not gonna be a man to you. He's gonna be your baby. Your sweet
God, it's
baby.
like, but it's more like, give me that. What are you doing? That's what his bark is like.
That's exactly what he's doing it. Why he does it though.
God.
He
Wasn't
doesn't.
Maddox doing that earlier today? I was
What
doing
you guys
yard
wanna
work and I left him out and
What
he
kind of
started
toys
just
do
like,
you get for them?
"Aww,
Bye.
that's cute."
It came in a box full of like Thanksgiving themed toys. Shut up, Jeff.
Go for a
I didn't say it.
go for a box for Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay.
We get what is the box we get? We get Bark Box.
I got him.
Yeah,
I
you
only got
would.
him.
We've done bully make in the past because he tears everything to shreds, and all of the bully make stuff has lasted pretty long for us. So, not sponsor me, bully make.
Yes, sponsor us. Jeff, is that the Pabst tree that's sitting there behind you?
Yes, it is.
Oh my
This is our
God. I
Christmas
can't
tree.
believe that thing has survived. Is that the same can?
Same can.
Did you ever wash it out? Or is it just
When we made it?
Did you?
I like
That, like
5
forever
years older.
calcified
So
Pabst Blue
that's
Ribbon?
how long this thing has lasted. At least this tree is 7 years old as is.
Mhm.
Your little knife was in it as of last year. I just realized I was going to cut myself taking it out of storage, so I opened it up. I don't know where it is now.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh,
A little
memory.
switchblade knife.
All right.
Real estate podcast.
What? We don't have to put up the tree yet. It's not Thanksgiving yet.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
There's no Thanksgiving this year.
So,
Columbus was a racist, and turkey tastes like napkins.
We have ham. We don't do turkey.
turkey tastes like napkins.
Where's
is
the
that-
lie though?
I mean, without gravy, yeah, it's pretty much worthless. Anyway,
Like
let's.
ADD episode.
It is. It is. I apologize. Your story is getting. We have like, he's clearly related to you. Same last name, but we're just gonna gloss over it.
Yeah, I'm
We're
just
getting
gonna
there.
kill him.
We'll get there eventually.
We have to get like the prelude episodes, and then there'll be like an hour-long exposition. Probably not today.
So, this barrage hit your forces, and you did some decent damage. When can I do it again? Okay.
Is it my turn?
Well, hold on. You all rise. I'm saying, you already came through and did a synaptic static. Randy, you can feel beyond this force field, meaning that it blocks magic, but you're not magic, so it doesn't block you. Joy, you're not really magic either. You're sort of like your own thing. So you see this big force field, and it's just a very colorful wall. You're like the most magic thing that I think is in D&D right now. With all the items and spells that I've given you, I think you're literally the most magic thing in existence. So
Not to mention the spine made out of magic.
You literally, you have a spine made of evil eldritch magic. Yes, it is. Eldritch people use magic, I guess. Actually, that shit's closer to like what joy is, where I kind of consider it like its own force. It's like almost like reality altering. Anyway, so Randy, I'll start with you because you haven't done anything in a while. As I said, you can kind of feel beyond this force field. There are mages holding the force field. There's a good couple of them. There are fighters ready to fight you as you come across. There's arcane mages on the rooftops behind the floating man. They're the ones that just launched that barrage, but they're a little too far for you, I think. And then there's this floating man standing there who's clearly giving the orders, but he looks pretty hardy. He looks like a tough guy. Big tough boy. So
Big boy.
What do you think you would like to do, if anything? Or would you like to just hide behind some big scary monsters?
So the things that hit us, they were just like balls of fire?
Yeah.
Sent by mages?
Yes, there's mages like behind him that like launch them.
Okay. So like how many mages per ball, or were they like individual attacks?
So I think there's probably like 6 mages back there that did that.
Okay. Do I see them like prepping for another round?
Yeah, do you want to like hold your turn until they launch another barrage?
Yes.
Okay, no problem, because it would take some doing to get to them. Yeah, so they're probably going to get a few more hits out.
I want to start like moving towards them.
So you kind of okay. So you kind of get in like the front lines, which is bizarre because you're Coraline's dad with an overcoat and a bright pink purple top hat.
Can I like
do you know what that top hat does too, just in case it can help you?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
So
So go on.
Buddy one of like the minion zombies and be like, to the front line if possible.
You grab one of the zombies and just comes with you as you again put him. What do you want to put him in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay. It'll give you advantage on your dexterity saving throw to dodge the next barrage. So you prepare yourself. Joy, is there anything that you would like to do? As you see this, you can see Astrid kind of like looking over and concocting some sort of plan. There's a bunch of zombies, and same situation I just described to Randy.
So when you say I'm not really magic, if I have something that says works the same as blank spell, but instead of this save, it's this save, would that be considered magic?
Let me...
I'm looking at the screen. I don't know if you have it pulled up.
I can. I'm just keeping her from seeing it. This is why I hate this setup.
Looking.
She's always trying to look at she's always trying to peep my secrets.
A clicking game.
Yeah, trying to peep my secrets by pretending to play your clicking game. Peeping my secrets. It's gonna be 2 seconds. Randy, Joy. Okay. Oh, no, that's its own, because it's not the spell it's its own thing. So that force field might not be able to stop it because you're not the kind of creature that they are prepped for. They are prepped for Astrid, not you.
All right, then I am going to do. I'm going to skitter as close to the wall as I can and do that.
Okay, and this is the scream.
Yes, the prismatic scream.
Thought so. Yep, prismatic scream. So you through the hordes. Do you still have little yellow wings
yeah.
that have like fallen off? Yeah,
Absolutely.
they're flapping as you. The what?
No, I just said absolutely.
Okay, they're like kind of flapping as you and like swish your way over to the edge, and you look at a large group of them. Now, are you able to pull up that spell? Because that's what like my D&D Beyond's giving me a little bit of trouble right now, and I have to like have other.
I have the save in my brain. I'm keeping it in my brain while I pull up the spell.
Because it works pretty much the same, but it's its own thing.
I'll get us straight by humping.
Mhm.
Okay. 8 multicolored rays of light flash from my hand? Question mark. Probably eyeballs.
From your mouth or your eyes,
Mouth,
whatever you want.
Small wings. Each ray is a different color and has a different power and purpose. Oh, I didn't realize that. Each creature in a 60-foot cone must make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom.
For each target, roll a d8 to determine the color, ray, and effects. But it also says on this one, instead of a dex save, must make a DC 19 wisdom save or suffer severe madness for 2 turns.
Madness.
So,
Yes, that's yours.
So instead of doing the D6 whatever D8 of options, it would be the madness, correct?
No, I think it's both.
Oh, okay.
I think you're gonna do here. Hold on, let me see. This move works the same as prismatic spray spell, but instead of dexterity save, each target must make a DC wisdom save or suffer extreme madness for 2 turns.
And if they're within 160 feet of me, they have disadvantage on said wisdom checks.
You were moving towards the front too, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
So
you give them disadvantage. They normally have advantage, so you have dropped this down because they all work for the wisdom. You have dropped this down to a normal roll.
Aha!
Still. So it's still going to be, you can still roll a d6 to figure out what kind of damage hits everybody. Oh boy, that's strong.
yeah.
But on top of it, if you
damage.
survive it, they are stricken with terrible madness like forever. So let me see. I have your. They are.
You have to do 19 wisdom.
Yeah, so they're going to be insane for a while. Fuck. I'm going to roll 3 times and see.
Okay.
How big is the
60-foot cone.
fuck? That's a lot.
That's a lot. Damn.
Shit balls. Oh my god. None of them made it. Taking away my advantage for the common soldiers fucking sucks.
And then let me know when you're ready for the actual damage it does.
Yeah, come on, big. Go ahead.
They all take 10d6 fire damage, which ended up being 36 damage, plus the mental instability.
And a 60-foot cone, which is fucking huge. You and now what does this look like? It's like essentially what prismatic spray is, like a rainbow beam, really, like kind of. Is that what it looks like for her, and where does it come out of?
So I'm imagining, since we're just grouping it all together for, whatever's sake, instead of being a rainbow beam, it's just a random color every time it happens. So I imagine
I like that.
She would skitter up, prop herself up on her back 4 legs, and literally, like, she opened her mouth to get the sword, just widens again. You see like the laser forming, and then just like
the anime, like
exactly,
like, and just as you just like kind of sweep across with it, back and forth. As
laser.
The ones who are the mages who are holding this section of the wall just like like, did you guys ever see Terminator?
It's been a long time.
Okay, well, there's a flashback scene in the Terminator where what is her name, Jeff? The main character?
Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor. Where Sarah Connor is seeing like the future of
Flash
when
forward.
nukes go off, and you can see her like rattling a gate trying to warn people, and then the nukes go off, and she just like it's like this, and she just becomes skeleton and like pieces and ash. And so these guys are holding the line, and you come up and they see you like open up, and they're like, you know, should we move? And it's like hold, it will stop whatever spell they cast. And they're sitting there holding, and the one's like,
Oops.
like sweating because you don't seem worried by that, and he goes, so we're safe, right? As they just like, the fucking flip. What?
Second, so we can cut this out. It's the shot from Terminator.
so essentially, like, we got it, as a whole bunch of them are incinerated instantly. Those that were hit, that were kind of on the other side of it, or the like, some of the warriors that are hit with it are like laying in the ground, singed and burned. And you can see as they stand up, they are like clawing at their own faces, writhing on the ground. And you know that those ones now see. They now understand the beauty. They understand her glory. And they're like staring. One of them is staring at the sky, like just open mouth, kind of catatonic. One of them is rolling on the ground, screaming about bugs. The other one is ripping off what remains of his clothes and swiftly devouring them because he believes that it will give him energy. And one of them simply just hauls ass running the other way, saying something about stocks. So you have inflicted like severe madness on a whole bunch of them. There's more, and they're just fucking freaking out as they're just kind of running around. But the mages fucking die, and as they do, you can see like the shield quake, and like some other ones are like, and they're like, hold the line, target that thing, target it, and you can see like some of the mages on the roof, like, you know, getting ready because they're like, oh shit, like that thing can punch right through our fucking force field. Astrid?
My turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you look so good right now.
Thank you. I love you too.
Ooh. Cut that part out, Jeff.
I'm just gonna loop it for 2 hours.
I'm gonna cast Feeble Mind on the guy.
The guy floating?
Mm-hmm.
You do this. You know who it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You announced who it was.
Okay.
It's your nap time.
Remember,
What
has
is he?
thoughts.
Does he roll wisdom for that, or does he rolls intelligence?
He rolls intelligence.
Do you have enough spell slots for this?
This is what's it called? It's not a spell slot one.
Oh shit! It's one of the lich ones.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's part of me growing up, leveling up. My
When you became a
arcane-
lich.
No. I just as a warlock.
Oh.
You get to choose like a 6.
Oh
7, 8,
shit!
9.
This is vanilla.
Yeah.
You can pick this. This isn't a homebrew thing I gave you.
Mm-mm.
Ain't that a bitch? All right. Well, fuck me. Okay. So he needs to roll an intelligence saving throw.
Yes. You need to roll.
Okay, give me 2 seconds.
Why?
Because I get to look at his spells and make sure that there was something that to see if there was something that he would have had to give him advantage or whatever on this.
Okay.
Oh, wait, does he have? Oh no! Why didn't you do that?
So, no.
He has so many good spells.
Don't worry, I'm saving the best for the wisdom.
Okay,
But I just
okay.
need this guy out of the fucking way. God,
He
I'm
also
sick of
has-
this shit.
He also has feeble mind, but instead of shooting you immediately, he was talking shit.
Yeah, I know. But I'm not doing that dance. Fuck this guy.
All right.
Pew pew. And remember,
Listen to me. What's the spell save I have to do?
a 20. And remember, you have to roll, I think, a d6.
No, oh my god, minus d6.
Hold
All right, first, let me roll the d6. Right, we're gonna decide how much is minus from his roll. 4. Okay. Okay, well, that's his entire modifier for his intelligence. What's the roll he has to get?
It's to be the 20.
So I have to roll a natural 20.
I guess so.
20 or above, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? That's what that means when it's 20.
All right, so here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Here's what we're going to do. This is a very powerful mage. I want you to understand as you look upon it.
Yeah, I'm also a very powerful
Yeah,
mage.
I know. And you
I'm endgame boss.
You are endgame boss. As you look at him beyond the force field, as he's looking down at you, hateful, ready to conquer you with his army. And I am going to roll this. I want you to come and take a look so that there's no shenanigans, just as I did when Jeff teleported one of my most powerful
I'll leave it. I'll get it.
champions.
Never happened.
Okay, so we'll get the camera down here too.
Why are you doing this?
Because it's exciting. Because tell me what happens if he fails this? What happens if he fails this?
He's done for the next 30 days.
For 30 days, he can't cast spells, he can't speak, he can't formulate plans.
You
he
bet, guy.
He can't do anything. So that's why it's a big deal.
He turns into a caveman.
He essentially will turn into an animal, even less than a caveman. They turn into like animals. All right, come on, baby, give me that natural 20.
I can't read.
Womp womp.
It is a 12. You can't see it, but it is a 12.
So did it work?
Yes.
So did it work?
Did it work?
He's done B now.
Yeah, Jeff, it fucking worked. Yeah,
That's
you
the
want
big
you
bad
want
guy?
what do you want? You want to rub it in my face more?
Oh.
Yeah, it worked.
We just.
I spent an hour making him. Making him like concocting plans as to how he. I'm sorry.
It's like the emoji dungeon. Pocket it. Use it in the next campaign.
Sure. Everybody.
Emoji dungeon.
Except when I use it in the next campaign, you know what's going to happen to him? He's going to get eaten by some sort of
He
fucking
also
monster or
takes
something.
46 damage, so let me roll that.
That's a lot of damage.
Stop it, Jeff. God, fuck! I gave him fly because you
Fine.
float, so it was gonna be like this like floating battle throughout the.
Do you remember when I jumped off
Yeah!
the boat with Carla Lily?
Yes, I do. How much did he take?
Incredible.
9.
We have
Not
a
lot.
lot
It
of
doesn't matter. It doesn't
airborne
matter. You can't do anything.
Don't worry.
all-time favorites.
Your battle with the last.
Can't wait
don't
for
want
the
to-
next card.
Are you excited?
Before you joined us, I jumped out of a great tree.
Mm.
Okay, so here's what happens. You're prepared, Randy. I love that every time. Joy, you're having a good time, right? You're doing your thing. You're doing exactly what you like to do. Astrid, you look into the eyes of Jiren.
John Cena.
Jiren Proudmore. The last time you saw this man,
Mhm,
he had left you for dead,
mhm.
thinking he killed you, or maybe just not even caring enough if he had killed you. Walked away from the disfigured young girl, leaving her broken and burnt. Now you see him again. You hit him, he's still there, and you know that he's gonna rain some hell on everybody. But that's not really what you're doing this for.
That's not at all what I'm thinking.
What's going through her mind as she concocts a spell, looking into the one eye of Jiren?
It's a multi-step process, so this is step 2 out
Okay,
of 3. So
All
I
right.
can't.
then we won't spoil
Yeah.
it. So right now you're just going through the motions.
Mhm.
As you look at him, and what do? Do you like? Is it a big extravagant thing, or do you
I don't
just?
even let him recover from the explosion. The moment he's like starting to, that's when they'll do it.
So as he,
I'm just throwing shit at him.
so
you know what I
he
mean?
sends the arcane barrage, and you see him like, and his hands begin to like glow with like an intense power, and he like raises them, and as you're getting back up, he looks down at you and goes, a stain upon our family's name
Oh.
shall be cleansed this and he
Does he forget
stops
how to fly?
yes, he can't
Does
cast
he-
spells.
Does he take damage from the fall?
Yeah, he would. Hold on, let me.
You fucking idiot.
I'll do 46. Let's say he's 40 feet in the air. 5, 6, 12, 17 damage. As he-
So much for seeing the great and all-powerful wisdom.
He's not the wisdom.
No, I know, but the wisdom did jack shit for him.
That's true. 125. Oops, I told you how much health he has. So as
Oh, it
his
doesn't matter.
his jaw runs slack, his eyes go this way. Like each of them goes the wrong way. And
And
he
he goes, guys, if we keep giving them money, it trickles back down to us.
that's what he starts spewing as he falls. And as he hits, you can see the people on the line look behind them and panic enter their eyes. Clearly, among these hundreds of soldiers and hundreds of mages, the motherfucker that just fell out of the air, who is now on the ground, drooling and like,
Yes.
like growling like an animal,
Yes.
was most definitely the most powerful among them.
Oh.
And at this point, you now watch as, is there a word for like sheer, I guess demoralization is the best word, but just sorrow sweep through them as they
no.
realize kind of what they're up against,
Oh, no.
but still they hold the line. And one of the soldiers, Arcane Barrage! Arcane Barrage! And you see boom, a whole bunch of these fireballs begin to launch again. Randy, what is the plan that you have?
This is up to how quick you think Randy's mind can work.
Okay, I think it's pretty fast. This is what he
Their
does.
hands to, shoot these big balls at us.
The walls.
And remember, he has an analytical mind, so he can run the numbers pretty quickly.
Okay, I like that you're working the fact that he's an accountant into this somehow. But go on.
I want the moment that they're casting to use my at-will telekinetics to break their wrists down and just like the ball onto them. So like if they're like the Harlem Globetrotters and we're the bad guys, we're taking the free throw, but then our wrists break and the ball just lands on our face.
Okay. 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 So as they, I don't, because in order to target, telekinesis doesn't work like that. You don't have to target the
one
motherfucker.
or two at least.
What?
I just want to get one or two at least.
Oh no. Yeah, hold on. I'm determining because they're far away. All right. Randy, roll your intelligence because you're using your analytical mind to do this in order to, I don't know, run the numbers. Again, you argued that point to me. So roll intelligence with just roll your intelligence.
11.
An 11? Okay. Okay. There are about 6 of them up there. You get about 3 of them as they like, and you can see some fireballs launch, like as they say, okay, barrage. Some fireballs launch, but it's not nearly as many as there was before. And you see one of them looks back as you see horrified faces and hands that are like snapped backwards, look down as the fireball, and he goes, well, fucker, as it and just explodes on those building tops. And you can see the other mages like, holy fucking shit, as they just fucking are incinerated where they stand. As the few fireballs come launching to you, you will get an advantage on your dexterity saving throw because you're standing behind a zombie, and everybody else make dexterity saving throws. The damage is much less at this point because of what you just did. You essentially cut the damage in half. Oops. Yeah, that is a 3.
Still get like 11 on my saving throw.
With advantage?
Yeah, it's not good. I get
Oh, yeah,
nothing.
his
for
dexterity
I'm
sucks,
gonna
doesn't
use-
it?
I'm gonna use luck.
Are we all rolling dex?
I forgot I had that.
Oh my god, this damage sucks. Well, don't worry, the damage fucking sucks. You will take 8 fire damage.
Hmm.
as the mages that did launch were so distracted by the explosions that and the fireballs missed their marks a little bit. So you all take 8 fire damage unless you were able to roll higher or a 19 or higher on your dexterity saving throw.
At least we only got 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got an 8.
Much less damage as the fireballs hit. So, Randy, you got to do your thing. Joy, there are still a number of mages that are kind of like shaking near you and trying to hold the line of where you had already broken a few of it, and they're trying to hold this force field together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, you hear those grumpy babies. I cannot fucking believe that you just did that.
So would you say like there's one on either side of me, or like?
There's a few. There's a bunch of mages and a bunch of soldiers behind them waiting for if they fall, then the war will start. But they're like, these mages are holding the line while the arcane barrage is just chipping away at your forces.
So I wanted to use Onslaught of Joy.
Ooh.
Joy can use their action to viciously attack up to 2 targets.
Mhm.
I guess I'd roll for attack, but I don't know what plus I would do to that. Would that be just my pluses to hit for like my claws and bite? Because that's the same.
So you actually you won't be able to do this because you can't physically break through the barrier.
I see. So I'll wait then.
Despite what you are, you're still a physical creature, and
Oh,
nothing.
so it's just a
punches-
physical barrier. It's also a physical barrier, not just a magic barrier.
That's
Okay.
the whole point. It's supposed to hold you guys back and fish in a barrel you while they pummel you with arcane magic. It's just that, like, if you were to shoot fireballs at them, it wouldn't go through. Only like spells that target like single people can like feeble mind, unfortunately.
Close the door.
I don't know how bad I want to be about this one. The force field, you said it got a little wobbly, right?
A little wobbly.
Does it look thinner in some parts?
Yeah. Where you broke it and now where some of the mages are holding it. Sure. What do you want to do?
I make you regret giving me this. I'm gonna look what I have. An iron, assuming this works on like general magic stuff, like TP, and shove it through the force field to make a little tunnel.
Okay.
Because it does say no real rules to this one. Use your imagination.
Absolutely, that's what I said. Okay, how about this? How about instead of it just being iron, because that's still a physical thing, and that doesn't quite work the same.
Right.
Like iron doesn't negate magic; it can just hurt magical things or whatever. What I would say is maybe it's this teepee made of like crazy colors and like constantly like swirling, energies kind of, and
So-
that's because that's like it's your own thing.
I imagine Joy is like this absolutely
God bless me.
cartoon character. So
Yes.
like she turns around, you see like smoke and stuff as she like quote unquote builds something from behind, and then she turns back around and it's this big humongous teepee that she just shoves into the hole.
They look and they're like, well, it can't, huh? As you just push it through, whomp, and it because in Joy's mind, that's what it's gonna do, because you believe so heavily that that's what it's gonna affect, then that's what it does. Kind of like she essentially can like make a tulpa effect if she wishes hard
Right.
enough, and thus she has.
A
As you
tulpa
push this like, it's basically just like 2 ramps on each other that you push, and it makes like a big triangle door. It's probably what, like 6 feet, 7 feet high. That's about it.
Big enough for me and the zombies and stuff to get through at least, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say it's like 10 feet high, like a normal ceiling.
Like it's
And they-
probably Washington.
the mages begin to panic as they kind of move away from it, and some of the fighters start like rushing over, and the zombies clue into that. And the ones that are near you just begin to go and flood inward. The giant skeleton running towards it, though, he wouldn't be able to fit, but the rest
The Home Depot skeleton.
pouring in. Astrid, the line is broken at one particular point of the force field. A bunch of the fighters flow over to that spot and start battling the zombies, bashing them with magic fists. Some of them, they have swords and shields, and you can see them just start doing battle with these zombies, trying to hold the line. Now, luckily for them, the zombies are bottlenecked in that one location, which, as we all know, is best to do with zombies because we've all played Left 4 Dead. And so they're doing their best to hold back this seemingly endless tide of the dead.
Me?
It is your turn, yes, because Randy did his wrist snapping joy.
I'm gonna do 2 things.
Oh,
Yeah.
my back. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna dominate him.
Dominate who? Oh. Well, he's feeble-minded.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not going to be able to do anything.
Oh no, I know.
Okay.
For 30 days, he can't do anything.
Yeah, but you are still in his head. You
Yeah,
still dominate.
and he'll be, and he's mine.
Him
after
and
the
somebody
30
else.
days.
Because every time you dominate, you can hit like 2 or 4 people.
2 people.
So him and who else?
Will it work on anybody else?
Yeah. They all have, because Randy gives them disadvantage, they all have normal rolls.
I want to. Then I'll look for someone else who's holding up the force field.
One of the mages?
I honestly, I don't care. I wanna
Oh my god, I got a natural 20, but I have to roll again because of fucking Randy. Well, no, I don't, because that's the single roll. I got a natural
That's
20.
fine.
I can't.
I
believe
don't
you
want
rolled
him
it.
anyway.
Okay.
All right, so I got him.
She's trying to attack our mine, sir. And he looks back.
Right?
Ah. Yeah, you got
he's
him.
feeble-minded. He just fucking can't roll.
you're in him.
All right, and I'm gonna raise the Bane.
So you feeble. He looks back. He goes.
I'm done. I'm tapping out.
He goes, sir, she's trying to get into my mind. What do we do? As the zombies are pouring through, as these men are fighting, as Joy is laughing hysterically, as Randy has snapped the wrists of the arcane barrages, as the zombies are pouring through, and he looks back to Jiren Proudmoore, who is essentially mindless on the ground, except for as soon as you enter his mind, because you can essentially assume control. You can't do any of his spells or anything. Do you want him to say anything before you raise this thing? Like say anything to his people before this thing comes out? Because they're looking to him like, what do we do? They don't like quite panic.
Happy Honda days.
So they look back to their leader, Jiren Proudmoore, the
Just
most powerful
die.
mage that they know, the closest confidant to the wisdom. They beg him for direction on what to do. He snaps out of his stupor. He's sitting like this, and he kind of snaps his neck sideways to look at them and just kind of smiles and says, "You die." And they, what? And from beneath the cemetery, the ground begins to crumble and fall away. Like in fucking Lord of the Rings, you know, like when the orcs fall through, where the catacombs were begins to cave inward. And where that ritual center was, where that large room was, you hear a horrific roar, a sound that pierces through the force field. And everyone in this city can hear it as a massive hand blasts through the ground, made entirely of the rotting bones and flesh of the creatures in the catacombs, as it slams onto the cemetery, destroying tombstones. Another hand blasts out of this massive hole that has been made, and from the depths of the cemetery, rising up, its body so massive and bulging and falling apart with bodies and body parts, is a rotting behemoth, essentially this enormous gargantuan creature made entirely of rotting bodies, zombies, and skeletons. And it begins to crawl its way out. And as the fighters and the mages behold this thing, you can see that The mages know that the force field might contain it, but what the fuck? And some of them begin to flee as the force field gets weaker, and the other ones are like, come back, you weaklings, as they run and go, the wisdom will save us, the wisdom will save us, and they begin to scatter into the city. You can see more soldiers coming from the city, fighters and mages, but they're beholding what is crawling out of the cemetery, massive, and behind already an army as it begins to walk forward, and Joy has opened up a spot for the zombies to flow through, and at that point, all this needs is one more push to pop this bubble. Who's got an idea? Randy?
Oh yeah, how many people are holding it up?
So it looks like there's maybe about just like, I don't know, probably like 10 mages left that haven't run or haven't been annihilated by the prismatic scream. That they are like sweating. You see their veins. They are straining to hold this as there are tons of zombies now bashing the force field, just trying to get through it. As they're just like like crying and holding it.
I want to make 5 of them spontaneously combust.
What? What do they have to roll anything?
They have to make a 17 Constitution save, or they burst into flames.
Oh my god! Look what I got.
You're rolling like
It landed on like 18 and then rolled to a natural 1. I was like, oh. So you can see one of them goes, hold the line, brothers. The wisdom will not fail us, and we shall not fail him. Hold the line, and we will be given graces upon reaching the kingdom of heaven. The wisdom shall save us. As he just he runs into flames. What did you say?
Hereditary on fire.
And some of them go, what is it? And you see like them, it like rips up their arms and like up their faces. Usually like 4 of them light on fire, and there's one in the middle of 2 on each side and 2 on this side, and one in the center. As he looks around, he goes, I'm okay. I'm okay. And he touches his body and lets go of the force field. And as he does, it goes forward, and he goes, oh God, no. He lights on fire, and then zombies pile on top of him, and he begins to scream as the force field, and those 5, down to just 5 mages, they can't hold it. And as they do, the force field begins to and starts to like wobble and like isn't able to hold its strength. And you see the behemoth rip into the ground and pull out just a large part of the cemetery and just fucking throw it like a catapult. And you can see it like, and the mages look at it and they're like, oh fuck. And it just boom and smashes through the force field, shattering it all the way down to them as they get blasted back, as it was just too much force. And at that point, the zombies flood in. The mages that were holding it are swiftly just swarmed over, their entrails being ripped out of their bodies, their skulls being smashed to the ground. What the fuck was that?
Being torn apart against the chain link fence.
Except zombies. And as the skeletons and zombies tear their way in, the fighters begin to battle, and this war ensues among these things as they're all beginning to fight. The arcane barrage mages are still up there, weaving and getting ready to toss in. But amidst all of this chaos and hell, as soon as the force field breaks, Joy, there's a large amount of fighters kind of to your left, like already engaged. There's more kind of on their way from the right-hand side. There's no like super special units to be seen. It's just a lot of little people. However, there does appear to be like one looks like sort of like a commander kind of, and he's like telling some of the fighters what to do. So he looks kind of special. People are listening to him. And then there's just a bunch of fighters and mages in your way. Is there anything that you'd like to do?
Probably go after the commander.
Okay. Do you want to use onslaught?
No, I'm gonna save it.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay. All right. So you just start running in and just start thrashing and bashing. That's what you want to do?
Claws and biting. Let me pull it up. Let's see. Twice with claws, once with bite. Does 18 hit?
Yes.
Does 14 hit?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, all of these hit
Oh.
based off of that knowledge. Bu- 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 bu.
So I'm
I
not gonna
forgot. This is a
worry.
lot of math.
I'm not gonna worry about the damage. Tell me what you do to these people, because at this point you're winning. You're pushing your way into the city. This is essentially the cool part of the war movie where you just beat ass for a little while.
Yeah,
So
no-
do tell me as you dig into these people, what it looks like.
No, she's just going after the one commander. So as he's giving orders and being all official and stuff, she just like gets up behind him and then just like
Oh, I love the idea of you getting behind him as he's pointing. One of the warriors starts to run away. He grabs him and he goes, "You don't quit until we're done. Get back in there. We hold the line for the wisdom. We hold the line until he can bless us for all that he." And as they're like, some of them are looking at him, they begin to back away, and you can see like the light kind of disappear behind him as you like crawl above him, and and you can see what they're looking at, Joy, is you standing tall above him with your massive, horrible mouth and drooling with your you chose for your claws to look like a bug.
Santa Claus for right now, yeah.
Yeah, as they and kind of like stretch out as he turns to you. What the fuck is that? And you just and just rip him apart, just digging into him and biting into him, ripping him limb from limb. And as he does, as he's being torn to pieces and your teeth are inside of him, you can hear him say, "It's beautiful," as he stares to the sky and his eyes roll back and begin to bleed. And you know that you gave him the gift. You allowed him to see the beauty before he died.
Beautiful
Now he
song.
understands. And you can't help but be joyful as you just like each of your appendages holding like a piece of him as you just rip him apart as the people are bathed in his gore and begin to scream. Now, at this stage, because I don't want to go through like individual combat for this because it's like a war and I think it would take forever. Yeah. Instead, what I think would be interesting is you guys are assaulting a massive behemoth, these terrible lickers, these reptile creatures, these plant monsters, your own individual badassery in a horde of zombies. As you flood into this city, as you begin destroying Basilica, working your way towards this great pyramid temple off in the distance with light streaming from it, the end of the city. As you begin to pour out of the cemetery and make your way in, what does each of your kind of conquering look like? Like, Randy, do you partake in fighting these people that trapped you? As you make your way, as the zombies pour into the city and you walk in amongst the war and the fighting, zombies swarming into buildings and swarming the streets, each person dying, by the way, rising again. The soldiers that have died do rise and begin to fight again.
No, I kind of kill when I see it, but I'm kind of just trying to hide behind zombies and stuff.
Okay, so after you did your cool thing, you're like, yeah, go ahead. No, yeah, go ahead. No, you go ahead. No, it's fine. You go ahead.
Oh, he's sticky.
No, it's it's like one of them, their intestines is out. And you're like, no. And you're just like backing away from him, like, oh god. As they just begin to swarm into the city. Joy, I assume, does Joy like lead the charge in trying to go after people and just go for any person they can?
I mean, I would assume that they do, and they're not even necessarily trying to kill people. It's just like stick and poke and go, to try to give them madness.
I
and
like that. It's almost like
in with Astrid every now and again. Like, do we need to go? No. Do we need to go? No. Like,
I like that. It's like you go through the enemies, but you're not sticking around to fight them. You just slash and gash them and sort of hit them with that psychic damage, which causes them to see. And as they do that, that drastically helps the zombies overthrow them. As these fighters, they're good at fighting, but they're not good at fighting when they're seeing unicorns screaming in their face. Like, they don't, you know what I mean? When they're seeing visions of great gods dying, they don't, they can't fight. And so the zombies just fucking rip them apart. And as soon as they're dead, they rise again. And so you're just sort of as Jeff likes to put it, a whirling dervish of fists and elbows, except in this case, claws and teeth, as you're making your way through, just gashing and slashing everything in your way, and just becoming a horror on the battlefield. Astrid,
Yes.
A meat tornado.
as your behemoth makes his way into the city, punching into buildings and ripping people out, just absorbing them into pieces of him, these living people being torn apart by the small hands that make up his hands and then becoming a part of him. As your zombies flood into buildings, tearing people apart, fighters and civilians alike, worshippers and mages all, as your lickers stay by you, and the the hunters and the plant zombies just kind of grabbing people that come near you, almost acting like a guard to you, anywhere that you float around, just annihilating anything in your way. You can see Jiren. Nothing's touched him yet because you have gotten in him. The zombies see him as part of the group because you grabbed him. You can easily walk up to him. The line is pushed past him, beyond him, but he can still see all the devastation.
Beyond DMH.
What do you want to do?
The way I picture it, because I picture us as continuing into the city. So
That's exactly what, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I see.
Do you want to take him with you?
Yeah, that's why I'm not killing him.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they're for
Do you want to make some sort of like vehicle for him to ride on?
Oh,
Like, for people to carry him? Or
no,
drag him?
the monk's gonna drag him behind. You know what I mean?
As-
But I picture it like
yeah.
there's like a scene I think in Mean Girls where they're like walking down like listen,
Okay.
they're like walking or in the craft, I don't know, whatever, like school,
Mutually, they're the
like,
same. Those are the same
no,
movies.
Oh my god.
Those are the same movies.
and when they're
No, they're
well, also
no.
ginger
They're
snaps.
not
You know what I mean?
Same movie as Mean Girls.
They all have the same kind of scene where they're walking
Yeah,
down
'cause
the
it's the
hallway
same
to
movie.
school, and like the camera's like on them.
Like, I'm a bad
and,
bitch.
and you see like the people in the background, but it's just like, I'm walking forward.
You're walking to him.
Yeah, well,
Or you're. This is you passing.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, describe.
we're walking. The behemoth is in front. We're walking.
Oh, he's clearing the path.
yeah.
Oh, the behemoth walking forward, just kicking fucking fighters and smashing buildings, and that is cutting a swath through the city for you. I love that. Go
and
on.
it's gonna, it's me, and then it's like all of these zombies behind, zombies and whatever behind all of the important ones. And then I named the monk Kevin, so Kevin is just dragging
Kevin with his big bucket helmet.
he's just dragging him along.
Oh my god, I love it.
That's what I have in my head.
As Jiren is being dragged, kind of drooling on himself, Kevin holding him by the scruff, by the hood, pulling him. This once incredible mage.
Never again.
That did take an hour to make. I will reiterate that. I did take an hour picking and choosing his spells very carefully.
You shouldn't.
Boy,
have
I
made him
suck.
a
God, I suck at
pompous
D&D.
asshole.
God, I suck
I
at this.
consider getting good.
You decided to let him talk,
I
and
did.
it opened
I
it
did.
up to attack.
Well,
so.
yeah, that's my fault.
I don't fucking play around. I'm not
don't.
here to talk.
You don't. No, she doesn't. As the behemoth smashes his way forward,
Mhm.
knocking buildings and vehicles and people alike out of his way, smashing great crystals that seem to power something, and entire sections of the city going dark. The zombies swarming in after him, and entering every building they can, clearing out every person, every side street, killing and bolstering your forces, your numbers.
From the last video.
And you walking amongst them with your little horde of hell
Mhm.
and dragging Jiren, you begin to float, this awful creature, floating towards this great golden pyramid at the other end of the city, shining a beacon of light into the sky. That is the Wisdom's Temple. That is where all those of the city are fleeing to. Now that they see the
Good, bottleneck them.
What?
Bottleneck them.
That's right. That's where everybody is fleeing to. And that, the Temple of the Wisdom, is the target for next game when we play again.
Dun,
As
dun,
you-
dun.
Dun,
Next
dun,
on.
You guys, I assume, enter the wisdom's keep. But this was gonna, be like you guys break the bubble, and there's gonna be like a whole fight in the city with Jiren and like all these people
No.
going around. But it's just turn that off, huh?
Yeah.
You just turn that right off on me. So I think next time we will do the wisdom fight, and that you definitely won't be able to do it quickly. All right, for reasons.
Said.
God
see.
damn it.
You'll see.
But yeah, so I think we'll end there with Randy hiding behind creatures, Joy right behind the behemoth, just attacking every living person they can.
Good.
And Astrid,
Astrid.
stop it. Astrid dragging her uncle behind Kevin, the newest addition to the family.
I can't wait to bring Kevin back.
Why do you care? Why Kevin? Are you more excited about Kevin than a giant behemoth, an undead behemoth? That's like in D&D, I saw a perfect comic where they said, this is what it's like creating NPCs that you want to interest your party with. You create an incredible NPC with a very in-depth background and all this, and like they're interesting, they're unique, they have their own side quests. And then the party's like looking at them, it's like, okay. And then it's like, and then there's this, and the party sees a goblin named Boblin, and they're like, protect him, let's get him on the team. And it's like, it's a goblin named Boblin. Like, yeah, his name is Boblin. Like, come on. Like, why the fuck are you excited about that? But as I'm like, you know what I mean? As a DM, you can't see it, but like they just fall in love.
To this day, we talk about my brother's favorite dwarf characters, Hugo and Horace, who they're twins, they're dwarves. I don't know. Hugo and Horace.
Then they worked at a dock and like that was it, right? They like tossed barrels back and forth. He like loves them. It just is what it is.
A simple thing.
But yeah, so I think we'll end there. I think that's a good place to stop. Is the invasion of Basilica, which, yeah, I'm not even gonna make you roll that fight.
Into the fall of Henlet. Like there's always a tipping point where it's like Henlet is lost and on fire, and
yeah. Well, so if it was just you guys and the zombies, they had a chance, but the rotting behemoth just tips it. Like any of the great crystals that would have like shot you, and any of the people on the roofs, and they're just fucked now. Like this thing's just gonna scoop them up, and yeah. And every person it kills,
behemoth, so goes the world.
The what?
So goes meat behemoth, so goes the world.
There you go.
It's true.
Meat behemoth. I actually got the idea for the rotting behemoth, Jeff. Do you remember an old D&D that we played where I was
with a chainsaw and sending the little goblin?
Yes, and it was
golem.
ripping through the thing. Yeah,
Meat
it was a
golem.
giant creature made of a bunch of like, I think it was zombies or like corrupted
bodies. One way or another, bodies. Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of bodies. Yeah, that was good.
Good times.
All right. Well, you feeble-minded him.
Yep.
I'm excited to see what you do with him, because you're gonna bring him right to the Wisdom Temple, huh?
Teach him how to skateboard.
Do you teach him how to skateboard?
No, he's gonna help us kill the king.
Ooh, the king.
Ooh. We need to talk to my brother because apparently his weekends are more open than we let on.
You, because he was feeble-minded, he couldn't make a wisdom save.
Yeah, I told you it's a 3-step process.
Oh my god. Fuck, he's really strong.
Yeah, 3-step
Oh
process.
fuck! Oh no! Oh no! I didn't even realize.
Stop yelling. You didn't spend an hour or whatever working on him for nothing. 3-step process.
He's gonna be with us for a while.
Yeah, he's gonna help us with the king.
Honey, he's a level 20 warlock.
He's ours now, bitch.
Oh my god. Oh no! Oh no! You have a pet that is a level 20 warlock.
Yeah, so we just gotta wait like 30
30 days.
We go to the king, that's all.
Next time on.
What are you doing? Are you all right?
We're evil.
Are you having a?
I'm making fun of you. We got a level 20 warlock.
Oh my god! You guys aren't even level 20. You have a level 20 pet essentially. Oh god! Between him and Locomotive Larry, that's gonna be a siege team right there. It's gonna be a death
Esther and Mr. Marbles, glass cannon. All right, that's the king. Everyone,
Go.
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. So next we'll do the wisdom fight, and then yes, let's talk to your brother. I would like to have him there for the king,
At
the
very
We
assault
have
on
to have
Aaron
everybody
Ball.
for the finale.
The what?
For the finale, for the end game.
I want to talk to Julie too to see if we can get
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
to get Fletcher in, yeah. Because if you remember the last time she showed up, she ripped up her sheet
Mm-hmm.
and then
We're
she
still-
left, and it was like, what does that mean?
We,
So,
if Alex is still MIA, we can do a Julie's one-off.
that would be interesting.
I mean, we could be our normal characters, but we could do a Fletcher-centric episode if we need
Yes,
to.
where you all play different. It would be easier if you were all playing different creatures,
Okay.
because that's like a different tier. Do you know what I mean? Like that's like a different realm that you're doing.
Like going into Pee-wee's Playhouse era.
Yeah, she has a lot going on. But yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna stop recording.
Okay.
And we will.
Bye.
Goodbye. And then.